Ran out of time because it only records 10 minutes, but there we go. She's on. So good morning. We're gonna get the oil drain and got the feed kind of lined up this morning. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get this down so that there's clearance from the turbo. And then on my drain side, I was gonna do -10, but the fittings are so big, so I actually changed it to this -8, and it's looking a lot better. I'm going to take my braided hose here. I just marked it, and I'm going to cut it and put the fittings on here. I got the fittings right on here. So I'm going to do a -8 return instead of a -10 just because of the size. So basically this fitting here right there, my -10 of that, so I have a -10 here. When I put this in here, it, like you can see, there's like no space between it to where it would fit, so I'm gonna have to just do the -8. I did a lot of research online, and it looks like there's different people that run -8 for this size turbo. It's not a very big turbo, so it shouldn't really matter, but we'll see. If I start to get oil seepage or leakage or something, I may get a different manifold, because I do not have AC, but I have an AC compatible manifold, and it looks like it causes a lot of trouble with feed and return. That's not really needed, so I may have to look at getting a different one if the turbo does leak once I get it set up there. So that's where I'm at, and once I get it all buttoned up, then we'll follow up to get the clutch and transmission mated and then start getting it in the car. Okay, so I got the engine hoist put together. I buttoned up everything on the intake manifold that was needed, like the inlet air temperature sensor, the PCV for now until I can get the catch can set up. But this is so where I'm at right now. I got the engine hoist and started to get the engine mounted to it so I can get it off the stand, and then I'll remove obviously the engine mount, and then start getting this prepped to get put on there next, so that I'll have all the sensors in there and the throwout bearing and fork in there. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all that's missing from this one. So yeah, so I gotta go get some hardware from the hardware store once it opens. I am missing, well, not missing, but I wanted to get new bolts for the motor mounts so that they're clean, so I gotta stop there and grab some. So yeah, so I'll follow up here once I get the transmission prepped, or if I get somebody to record for me, then I can show you as I'm doing it. Okay, so I just got back from the hardware store. They didn't have the flange bolts for the motor mounts, but they did have these black socket cap type. Can't see that, but similar to like the Downstar except black. So those are what I'm going to use. Then the other, those are too small. Damn it, those are 10s. The nuts I got were wrong. The other thing I could just put in was the fuel filter. So I put in this new fuel filter for now. I have a different E85 filter I'm going to use, but I'm just going to use that one for the 93 until I get the engine broken in a little bit before running E85. But now I'm going to put the mounts in, and then take the engine off of the stand and start take the engine off the stand and start to get the flywheel set up. So I'll probably set up a time lapse for that. So here we go. So it's been a long 2 days.
totally scatterbrained, but actually what I was going to start working on with these brake lines. So I got some copper brake lines, and I'm going to recreate the 2 front brake lines. That one, and I just had the other one in my hand, this one. So I'm gonna get the tools ready, and then we'll mimic those. Okay, so we're gonna attach the Miles is helping me. Oh, red light. Red light. Okay. Miles is helping me, but we're going to use a flare nut wrench. For all you watching that don't know what that is, it's just a open-ended wrench like that. But what this does is it grips the fitting on multiple sides so that we don't strip out the fitting and then you can't get it out. This thing's going super far too. I should have probably started it before, because it will literally take almost the entire... There we go, that's tight. We're starting to get tight. No? Larry?
Yes.
That's okay. That's fine. Just bring it over here. We'll do this real quick, which this one's going to be harder to see, but you might be able to step back and zoom that lens in better. So right down here. So now on this side, I've already had steel brake lines from before, but what we're gonna do is try to bend this so that it can get into that fitting there. There we go. Get it started by hand and then tighten it down. Yep, okay. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Not good, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's why I was trying to put the light on it, because it's going to be really hard to see, especially with my arm in the way. But I'm just going to get it tight, and then you'll see in a second here, once I start getting it tight, it's going to spin. Yep, there it goes. So right now, if you watch down here, it's going to spin. See how the brake line's spinning? So what we have to do is take a 17mm, which is what these brake lines are. Put the headlamp back on so you guys can see too. Take a 17mm and hold that so that we can tighten these down really tight. Again, we don't want brake fluid leaking. Okay, that's really tight. Oh, that's just lost my clip. So now that that's tight on there, and I can't get my wrench off, put this clip on. Use our hammer here, 17mm. Give it back.
The car's fighting you for it.
Yeah, it's not giving it back at all. What's going on here? There we go. All right. There. Good. Un moment, please, and we will do the clutch and the flywheel, or the flywheel and then the clutch. So, see you in a minute. Alright, so I was able to run to the hardware store to get some hardware for the fuel rail. So now the fuel rail's permanently attached. I found these like little metal spacers that, oh, let
Zoom in on that. Focus it, I mean. So these little metal spacers that were like the perfect size. So now I just got the engine off the stand and going to put the clutch and flywheel on. So I'll start that right now. So the clutch, flywheel are on, transmission's prepped, got the speed sensor on there, throwout bearing. I use this Honda, I guess I won't focus someday, or I'll focus it myself. This super high temp Euro grease. It's actually from S2000 throwout bearings, but it's like super slippery. LHT Performance, they use it on all of their clutches and stuff, and they say it holds up really good. So yeah, that's what I did there. So now taking the bolts out my old transmission and the mounts, the brackets, all that little stuff, so I can put it on this one, and yeah, follow up once I get the transmission on. Actually, I'll probably just record this, me struggling to put this on here. Here, you guys can watch too. After you get sick from, yeah, there you go, you guys see. Ran out of time because it only records 10 minutes, but there we go. She's on. Get the starter on. Get the mounts in the car going.